So it's confirmed Nigeria Super Falcons, they are playing the Bayana Bayana of South Africa, the semi-final of the Women's African Cup of Nations. So this is my prediction and statistics. Well, the closest head-to-head between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Bayana Bayana of South Africa is 2 wins for Nigeria and 2 wins for South Africa and 1 draw. Like the most recent 5 games the Super Falcons of Nigeria have played with the Bayana Bayana of South Africa. You look at my start here. I see just the recent Olympics games, CAF Women's Olympic qualifying. Nigeria and South Africa played goalless draw at the second leg. The first leg, Nigeria defeated them 1-0. Women's African Cup of Nations 2022, South Africa defeated Nigeria 2-1 at the group stage. And then the Women's African Cup of Nations final in 2018, Nigeria defeated South Africa on penalties and won it. So here is my statistics. I think I'm predicting that Nigeria Super Falcons will defeat the Bayana Bayana of South Africa with 2-0 because looking at their performance against Senegal, yes, I know Senegal packed the ball just like Botswana did against Nigeria and Algeria. When Nigeria Super Falcons plays against Botswana and Nigeria and Algeria, everyone was like, "Oh, come on, Nigeria Super Falcons, they are toothless. They can't do anything. Their goal margin dropped from 3-0 to 1-0 to goalless draw against Algeria. In fact, Zambians made the most of it. They were throwing a lot of banters at the Super Falcons. Now, they learned it the hard way that Nigerian Super Falcons perform the best when they are under pressure. You go and ask England, they're going to tell you. You go and ask Australia, they will tell you the World Cup, Women's World Cup, the recent Women's World Cup that was just played last year. Now, this is the statistics so far between Nigeria Super Falcons and the Bayana Bayana of South Africa. Nigeria Super Falcons have won them 7-1, 4-1, 2-0, 5-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-1, 1-0, 4-3, that's on penalties, 5-0, 1-0, 4-0, 1-0, 1-0, and goalless draw. That's just the 2 recent ones. The 1-0 Nigeria defeated them at the first leg of the Olympic qualifier, and then goalless draw. On aggregate, Nigeria progressed to the Olympics ahead of South Africa. So on my own side, what I think our coach should do, Madugu should do, he should use the same lineup he used against Zambia. Echegini should start the game. Ihezwe should start the game. And Esther Okoronkwo should start the game. In fact, that was actually what I had expected in our first game, second game, and third game in the group stage. But I didn't see these wonderful ladies start for the Super Falcons. I was wondering, maybe the coach was just keeping them in the bench, maybe not to let opposite teams or opponents know his tactics. You see, the first game, Esther Okoronkwo came in as a sub, and she won the superior player of the match. You could imagine that. So this front three, if you start Esther Okoronkwo, you start in Hezu, and this Fololunse Jimilasu, I think that will make Super Falcons to finish the game, to bury the game, even in the first half, just like they did against Zambia. I don't want to see him start Tony Penn. I don't even want to see Babajide. I don't want to see this player. They should start coming as a sub. Even Oshoala, assistant Oshoala should come in as a sub. Even when Oshoala was subbed in our last game against Zambia, she got clear-cut chances and just squandered it. Yes, she has got big names, highest, the best player in Africa. She's won the highest award, a Women's African Football Player or Female Football Player of the Year. Fine. Currently, Nems, you can get to a point, Nems does not play football. Informed players is what you use to play your games, not big names. So these players, just like as it is, Esther Okoronkwo should start the game against South Africa on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Nigeria time and 6 p.m. South African time. Ihezwe should also start. Jennifer Echegini should also start. And that is how we will bury the game even in the first half. And even I don't want him to use the lineup he used against Algeria, where he started Christy Ucheibe, he started Odega, he started he started Onomon. No, it shouldn't be. And also in our in our game against Botswana. In our game against Botswana, then he did the right thing, did what he's supposed to do. He brought in like some spark to it, introduced new players. I saw the likes of Odega playing, joining the starting lineup and all of that. But if I mean, he doesn't need a prophet to tell him that this is what he's supposed to do. I mean, the Super Falcons coach, he must have learned his lessons. These are the players you should start in your game with, and then bury the game. Yeah, I know that South Africans, they also have this squad. My father do tell me that football goes with history. It's not about statistics. It's not about how informed your players are. But fine, we've got good history against South African Bayana Bayana players as well. So they should do the right thing. It shouldn't end in penalty. You could see. Gone are the days when we used to say Argentina doesn't win in penalty. Argentina won in penalties the last FIFA Men's World Cup. So now South Africa won their penalties. They have improved in scoring their penalties, converting their penalties, and we saw that yesterday against Senegal. The Senegalese players had no idea whatsoever how to score penalty, but the Bayana Bayana, being that they've had very, very terrible experience against the Super Falcons of Nigeria, they've lost it on several occasions. So they have improved, and that's how you see, they did not even miss a single one. So if we are going to win this game, which I am very sure we are going to win against the Bayana Bayana of South Africa. In fact, the Nigerian Super Falcons performance against Zambia impressed me so much. When I look at their game, their performance against youthful Tunisian team, then I look at their performance against Botswana, struggled. It's not even that. My problem is not just that Botswana packed the bus. They defended. They had to put 8-7 defense. That's not even the problem. They had a huge problem understanding themselves. Passing, the terrible passing. They did not even get good passing accuracy. There was no fluidity in their among themselves. To pass the ball, to even control the ball was a difficult problem. They were just shooting the ball up, throwing the ball up and down. I watched Super Falcons' performance against Zambia, and I'm like, what really happened? What changed? What's the difference? The passing accuracy, the connection among themselves, the communication, it was superb. And that was how they were able to dismantle the Copper Queens of Zambia. So this same team that played against Zambia should also be introduced against Bayana Bayana of South Africa. And more also, if the coach wants to, because yes, Oshola has got big names, if the coach must use Asisat Oshola, that must be when I understand, the game was already won and lost against Zambia when he introduced Asisat Oshola. But if we are winning 1-0 or 2-0 against South Africa, you dare not introduce Asisat Oshola until maybe 80 or 80 something. Because when she came on, she got up to 3 or 4 chances, but did nothing with it. This is a knockout stage. You must utilize every opportunity. You don't get that opportunity all the time. So the coach must know what to do. If you are going to sub these enterprising players, like Esther Okoronkwo, you have to do that when the game has already been buried, just like it was against Zambia. Don't be in a hurry to introduce players who will come and destroy the rhythm. Yes, he brought Deborah Abiodun against Zambia, our most recent game, brought in Asisa Oshola, but they didn't make much difference. They didn't make much difference. Even though they were on the bench and they were observing the game, how wonderful the team was performing, they did not make much difference. So I'm very confident that we are going to defeat the Bayana Bayana of South Africa, but that should be done at the earlier time. We shouldn't wait until we play 90 minutes extra time and then we hope to win on penalties. Zambia game is over now. We've won, so we are not celebrating that for now. We are focusing on the main game, the semi-final. Bayana Bayana of South Africa versus the Super Falcons of Nigeria. So the coach must be, and our defenders performed so well against Zambia, and I know they are also going to put up a wonderful performance against the Bayana Bayana of South Africa. they should make sure that the errors are just minimized. If you make a lot of errors, South Africa's could Bayana Bayana South Africa players, they could also capitalize on your errors. They will attack the spaces. So they make sure that there's no space for them to attack. What Halimatu Ayinde and Onhale did was a great job. What many comedians say, they lost work. They made sure that there was no space for Eracha Kundinaji and Barbara Banda, because Zambians made a lot of noise about these two players. That's the only thing they've got in their team. They are the only spark they have got in their team. So Nigeria was able to neutralize that spark, put off that spark, and then Zambia was hugely exposed. And the same thing with South Africa. I look at one of the most the players that have given Super Falcons threat in the recent years is Tembi Katlana. Tembi Katlana is not even in the squad. And Linda Motlalo also has got minor injury. I don't know how her fitness will be on Tuesday, but I'm somehow sure that she's going to play. But when I look at their performance, I'm sure that Nigeria will even breeze past this Bayana Bayana of South Africa. I see, because even in the build-up of this game, we see Zambia as even a tougher opponent than South Africa. But yes, South African coach have been there she has played Super Falcons for years. So she has got that experience in the bag. She's not new to Super Falcons. So she knows how to play and what to play. And that's why our new coach, Super Falcons new coach, Madugu, should know what he should do as well. So that these people don't capitalize on our mistakes and undo us. Yes, they will defeated Nigeria. Is Mission X and is revenge. This is a year of revenge. Zambia defeated Nigeria just by a lone goal. That was even an own goal in the last edition of the Women's African Cup of Nations. And then we could not even rest. I see pundits saying that Zambia is a better team. Zambia blah blah blah. Zambia this, Zambia that. And that was how the Super Falcons pounced on them and gave them a 5-star performance. So now we are facing South Africa, the Bayana Bayana of South Africa. The coach should introduce the same players he introduced in our game against Zambia. He should not even start Tony Penn. He should not bring in Asista Oshoala. We don't want that. He should not start Rinsula Babajide. No. These players should not even start. And I'm sure he must have known what to do. He cannot. I don't know. I don't even want to believe that he will on Tuesday start introducing these players that did not start against Zambia. We saw the performance. Now imagine if players like Ihezue has started against Botswana. If Ihezue has started against Algeria, we wouldn't have struggled to score. Yeah, no matter how you spark the bus, if the coach knows what to do with his team, he knows what to do to overcome such defensive backline. Nigerians Super Falcons can do that. So what I am projecting is 2-0 in favor of the Super Falcons, or maybe even 3-0. It could happen. But the coach, the players knows the game against Bayana of South Africa is both political and whatever thing you call it. Our game against South Africa, whether men or women, has always not been a light game. It encompasses everything. So Nigerian Super Falcons, they already know that. This is not the first time we're playing South Africa. We've gotten the better of them many times. And South African Bayana Bayana, they are yet to defeat Nigeria in a knockout stage. Remember, the 2 times they have defeated Nigeria Super Falcons in Women's African Cup of Nations has always been in the group stage. Don't forget. It's only in 2020, the last edition, 2022, that they defeated Nigeria in the group stage and went ahead to win it. 2018, they defeated Nigeria in the group stage and Nigeria went ahead to win them in the final. And it would have even happened if our player, Opranozie, had scored her own penalty against Morocco. We played Morocco in the semi-final of last edition of Women's African Cup of Nations, and she missed her penalty and Morocco progressed. Even when one of our players was giving red card, I think Ajibade was giving red card in that game against Morocco. Which means if Ajibade was not giving red card, Nigeria would have breezed past Morocco. So what I'm saying is this: Nigeria Super Falcons, they have a formidable team. They have but higher chances of defeating this Bayana Bayana of South Africa. And if I had the opportunity to speak with the players, they should convert the little opportunity they've got. I don't know how they train, how they practice. You need to practice so well so that the slightest of the few opportunities they got. Imagine this shit: 8 shots on target and 5 were goals. That's wonderful. A wonderful performance. Few chances they got against Zambia, they converted them. If imagine the game we played against Botswana and Nigeria, we got many scoring chances. And I saw shoots made by Jennifer Chegina. I was wondering, what is she thinking? She put up a wonderful display, but to convert it became a problem. So I know they will mentally prepared, fully prepared for this game against Bayana Bayana of South Africa. And they know how the game always ends. And they know what the game is all about. So the coach should do the most in preparing these players mentally. They should improve in their shooting accuracy. The Super Falcons should improve in their shooting accuracy. So any opportunity you get, you have to convert it. And also, South African Bayana Bayana have got a good goalkeeper as well. Yes, we also know that Zambia, they don't have good goalkeeper. But the lady, for her to be called up to the team, to the squad, means she is also a good goalkeeper. They have second choice and third choice goalkeeper, but decided to use her. So this Adeline, the goalkeeper of Bayana Bayana of South Africa, she is a wonderful goalkeeper as well. But you never know. A goalkeeper that will concede, no matter how good you are. We've seen, in recent years, wonderful goalkeepers, renowned goalkeepers conceding goals. Look at Real Madrid, Courtois conceding 4 goals against PSG. So it's not just about goalkeeper. It's not just about player. If winning a game is based on the name of player, Zambia would have breezed past Super Falcons. Oh my God! So many comments, so many social media posts by Zambians. They have Rachel Kondenachi, they have Barbara Banda. They're going to smoke Super Falcons out. Super Falcons are afraid. Super Falcons are shaking. Now the results, the end have justified the means. So I'm very much confident, more than I was before the game against Zambia, because when I look at how the Super Falcons performed against Algeria, how they performed against Botswana, I was even in huge doubt. I'm like, okay, so the Zambians can just they are going to get this, but their performance, I was 100% convinced that Mission X is possible. Before that game, I felt like Mission X is doubtful. But now, I'm confident that Mission S is possible. They just need to finish the job. We've done it before, many times against the Bayana Bayana of South Africa, and we are going to do it again. And it cannot end in penalty. It should not end in penalty, and I don't want it to end in penalty, because if we are going to hope, or if we want to hope to win through penalties, it's never going to be easy. So, to me, this is what I'm going to say. We are going to defeat the Bayana Bayana of South Africa with 2 goals or 3 goals. I even doubt if they are going to score, because Halimatu Ayinde, Alozie, and Ohale, they are doing a wonderful job. And Ashley Plumter, you dare not pass these players. And I've not seen any enterprising player in a South African squad that could pass these 4. Ashley Plumter, Ohale, Alozie, and Ayinde. They are very